All right, so you guys all received messages. Also, you girls received messages um, to meet at the dive bar at 6 p.m. Whisper, with your knowledge of dive bars, you know that the dive bar is a nautical themed dive bar near the Tacoma docks. They have like big wooden steering wheels and dive helmets and crap like that on the walls. So let's go ahead and find out how everybody's getting there and what you're bringing with you. Starting on the left with Hoxton, and why don't you go ahead and describe your characters too?
Sounds good. Huxton's a 30-something-year-old human male. He's got short brown hair, 5 o'clock shadow. He is going to be wearing just a long brown duster, street clothes underneath. Uh, what time of day were we heading out there?
6 p.m. is when you're supposed to be there.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be driving his GMC. Wait, I don't think he drives a GMC. Hang on. Oh yeah, GMC 442 muscle car. And before he heads out, he wants to do a simple matrix search to find out more about the bar and the area around it to see whether or not maybe he should, you know, bring a weapon for self-defense. So just like a threshold one, if you want me to roll it,
How many dice do you have?
it'd be 9 dice with my specialization.
All right, so don't worry about it. Um, yeah, you'll just get the same information that Whisper got. You'll find a couple pictures of the interior of the bar. You'll see that it's like the mood is usually anti-corporate. They play a lot of punk music in the bar, broken up by orcish sea shanties.
Orcish sea shanties. That was really well said. Okay, then double checking the message from Rebellion. I don't think he indicated whether or not we should literally leave our gun at home, right?
No,
He just doesn't
he
want us
just
to
didn't
leave a
want
path
any.
of bodies.
Yes.
so yeah, I'll head out. Leave the Warhawk in the glove box. I'll probably just carry the ankle holster with the holdout pistol, and make my way that way. Just a little something for self defense.
Sounds good. Blizzard?
Blizzard is a much like Hoxton 30, young 30, I believe. He has a buzz cut and a well-kept, relative short beard. He is average height. He talks with an accent. He's from Quebec, so he's a Frenchman. And he's a mage, so he'll
So
probably
he has
get
a big hat that says wizard on it with two
wizard.
Carries a staff, yeah.
He has a wand and a cloak that says like, "Yeah, beware, my mighty power." Nah,
Right.
nah, he's just wearing. He's probably gonna wear instead of his sleeping tiger. He'll probably wear his this is armored jacket or something. Something that looks because it's called the dive bar, and I'm assuming it's not something corporate or fancy as he's told the other ones. But like, I'll just wear my armor jacket, and he'll probably leave his shotgun at home, but maybe keep his survival knife on him, and he'll call up his cab friend to drive him on over.
All right. Whisper?
Whisper is a young woman, early 20s, late teens, who is quite fit, in shape. She wears a electrochromatic jumpsuit and gloves and a hat or a hoodie to cover her up. She's quite pale if she takes her mask off, but she tends to have it on a lot because The air here in Seattle sometimes gets kind of nasty and makes her red eyes even redder. Since we're going to the Orcish Sea Shanty place, she'll flip her electrochromatic jumpsuit outfit to have a nautical theme on it. And she takes her Coco taxi to Tacoma and goes to the bar. She does not bring a gun.
Would you care to describe that nautical theme a little bit?
It's actually going to be seascapes and sailing ships, and it's going to be kind of odd because they're not going to be level or flat, so it might be very disorienting to see waves cascading down her leg.
All right. And Glitz.
Glitz is a 26-year-old elf. He has blondish fiber optic hair that he usually lights up with different multicolored tips sometimes. He's going to be wearing his typical attire, which is usually his armor jacket, which is styled to look like a sort of a biker leather jacket, and regular jeans-looking pants. He's gonna be bringing only his heavy pistol hidden in the smuggling compartment on his cyber leg. And he's gonna come using from downtown Seattle using his Yamaha Nodachi, which is his favorite bike. It's super years out and modified, but since he's very afraid that it might get stolen, he usually parks it using the chromatic thing. I forget the name all the time. Chameleon coating, yes. He uses his chameleon coating to set his normally extravagantly gold-like bike into a more default color. Today is going to be like a dark bluish color, just to look bland in the streets, so it doesn't attract unwanted attention. And he's just gonna try to arrive about 5 minutes earlier.
All right. Well, you all know how to navigate the city, so you make it there on time. When you walk in, you see just small groups of humans and orcs mingling together. There's a pool table. There's a dartboard. There's a large bar that's shaped like a boat. And there's a bunch of booths along one of the walls. And you see in one of the larger booths, there's a large orc man who you will recognize as Rebellion, because you were totally sent a picture of him along with the message.
Is he by himself?
He is by himself. I also need to restart Discord really quick.
Okay.
Because it stopped playing key clicks, and that usually means it's going to crash soon.
In the meantime, Hoxton is on the roof of the dive bar, and people down below are begging him not to jump.
You have so much to live for. Yeah, you have to get Arachne off the ramen binge.
I think that might be a lost cause.
Yeah, probably.
So actually what you see is a bunch of people crowding around yelling, jump, 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 jump.
Do a flip.
Yeah, one guy yells, do a flip. It's Blizzard.
I hide my face and walk out.
Rebellion's sitting there. He's wearing a sleeping tiger long coat combo and drinking a very large mug of some sort of beer.
Try to sort of nod at him, see if he notices me before walking on over.
With Glitz's one hit on Underworld, would I have heard of this?
How long
Is
has
Johnson-
Blitz been a Shadowrunner?
For a while. I mean, on the grade officially since I think September last year, but let's say like a year and a half, maybe 2. I don't know.
And you have Louis as a fixer?
Yeah, he has
So-
worked as a smuggler before and other criminal activities.
Yeah. So you would have just in this time heard about Rebellion, not in any sort of underworld capacity. He's actually an ex-Shadowrunner who went straight, and he actually works for EVO. He had too many morals and quit Shadowrunning. So it's kind of unusual for him to actually be hiring Shadowrunners.
This could be interesting. I actually changed the quality for Glitz recently. He has they favor quality towards veteran Shadowrunners, so I think that could apply if he knows this guy used to be a Shadowrunner.
Yeah, you don't know too much. You've probably just heard vague stories, so you don't know everything about him. He just has enough street cred that people still tell stories about him sometimes, even though he's not active. Not active in Shadowrunning, anyway.
And what do we know beyond his foray into running? Like, do we know anything about his current situation? What's he
Somebody
do to pay
who
the
has well, let me ask this: is it Louis everybody's fixer here?
Yeah, probably.
I guess.
All right, then you definitely all know that Rebellion is now a security captain at EVO. You've probably heard stories from other Shadowrunners whose teams got beaten by him. And if somebody, that's about all you know about his current situation. He mostly guards their main office here in Seattle.
Cool.
Him and his security team. Oh, there is a McHughes there. How did you know? There's a stuffer shack on the other side.
Listen, I'll see if I can get to it. It's really hard to color in these letters.
All right, so are you guys going to go over and join him?
Yeah, Huxton had sort of given him a nod, as if to ask permission, in case he was in the middle of something. But if I don't get any type of sign that he doesn't want me to approach, I'll go ahead and walk over.
Yeah, he will nod back.
Hold a hand out as I get close, and say, Rebellion, I believe.
Rebellion will stand up from his seat at the edge of the booth and shake your hand.
Say, it's Huxton. It's nice to finally meet you.
Says, yes, nice to meet you too. I'm glad I could get you for this job. I've heard stories.
Halshin just kind of grins, not really being able to confirm or deny those stories. But then I'll take a look at the table, assume there's enough seats here for everybody, or does it look like we might be moving somewhere else?
There is enough space here for everybody.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll just pull out a chair and grab a seat.
Rebellion will sit back down too, waiting for everybody else to make their way over.
Yeah.
I recognize Hoxton. I nod to him and walk over to the table and say, "Hi, I'm Whisper," to whoever the strange person is sitting at the table.
He'll stand back up and say, "Rebellion, nice to meet you. Please have a seat."
Sit down.
After all, recognizing Whisper and Hoxton, Glitz is gonna take a while, and then he's gonna approach and wave and smile at the other runners, and he's gonna extend his hands towards the Johnson and say, "Hi, I'm Glitz. I believe we have some business to talk about."
He'll nod and say, "Yes, just have a seat, and once you're all here, I'll let you know the details."
And for me, noticing both of them and a new person, I'll approach as well.
All right, and he'll greet you similarly. And once you're all seated, he'll sit back down. And as you guys are sitting down, you notice that a lot of the background noise from all the other conversations in the bar is being drowned out by a white noise generator. So he'll sit down and say, "Well, you're all here today because your fixers, or your common fixer, told me that I can trust you all not to leave a pile of bodies on this one. Now, assuming he's not lying to me, that's something I can respect. And that's why I'm asking you all to do this." Lately, something strange has been going on. My employers have been requesting my team for security details off site, and then ordering me to stay put at the office. Now, I'm pretty sure they don't want to waste my talents behind a desk for the rest of my career. So I'm pretty sure they know they're up to something that I'm not going to like. My team's next scheduled trip is coming up, and all I want is for you all to follow them, find out where they're going and what they're doing, and then just come back and tell me. And for doing that, I'll give you each 8,000 new yen.
That sounds simple enough for me.
You have any idea what they might be up to at all? Or where we'll be heading?
No. That's the side of shadow running that I'm not particularly skilled at. I'm more of the dynamic entry sort of guy. I just know they're doing something that EVO thinks I wouldn't approve of. Otherwise, they'd keep me on the detail.
And what, if you don't mind me asking, what wouldn't you like? What sort of things are we talking about?
Well, I mean, I can't be sure. I don't really believe all the rumors, but some people seem to think my employer's into some pretty nasty stuff.
Uh, any
Aren't-
hints? You can go ahead if you want.
Aren't like all corps have something shady going on behind everybody's back sometimes?
He shrugs and says, sometimes. From what I've seen, they're not nearly as bad as what people make them out to be. This is the first time I've noticed them trying to actively hide something, so.
Hey, come on, guys. EVO's one of the good ones. They do a lot for a lot of people around here.
They've even got a free spirit on the board, right? It's got to count for something.
So, what rumors might you be inclined to believe? They ship stealing animals? I'm just thinking back to like things we ran into, like, oh, are they stealing animals? They kidnapping people?
Yeah.
Making weapons?
My guess would be some sort of research, probably involving experiments on people, but I have no idea. If it was just animals, I wouldn't care so much about that. I mean, gotta experiment on something, right? That's what animals are for.
So how's the team of yours like? Are we talking about stalking like a bunch of science nerds, or are they combat capable? What kind of
My team,
expertise?
it's my security team. Uh, they're all highly trained. A few of them I trained in combat myself. You're not gonna want to fight them,
Are any awakened?
and I don't want you to fight them. They're good people for the most part.
Just trying to pay us to find out exactly what's going down. I can respect that.
Are any awakened? Magic users are strictly point and pull the trigger kind of men.
Yeah, of course some are awakened. You think we'd have a security team without any awakened?
You never know.
We aren't rent-a-cops, kid.
Have to ask.
We do security for headquarters. We even do HDR sometimes. Now, they're not gonna. They haven't been leaving on these details in their HDR gear, but it doesn't mean they're gonna be pushovers.
When exactly does this detail begin? If we can know such information.
Well, if you guys are gonna sign on the dotted line, so to speak, I'll tell you when and where they're leaving from.
$8,000 to tail an EVO HDR or EVO security detail. Determine what exactly this detail is protecting or overseeing. Definitely appreciate your curiosity. I think I can at least speak for some of my team here when I could say we respect what you've done in the past, and I personally respect your decision to seek a higher moral ground. But the situation as it is, we're going to need some of that, probably as a show of faith that this doesn't turn around as an EVO training exercise.
Yeah, he kind of grins. Says, "I don't know if I should be insulted or flattered that you think I'm that clever.
Don't tell me you never took a job and then got betrayed. It's nothing personal against the Johnson. It's usually a bigger picture in play.
Yeah. Funny you should mention that. One of my first jobs that I did breaking into EVO was a betrayal. So I guess it's the sort of thing companies like to do.
Hoxton,
But
Hoxton shifts when Rebellion gives up that card, and he'll say 10,000 Ian, 2 up front. We'll ensure there's no bodies, there's no mistakes. You get your information.
all right. I guess I can agree to that. There's one last thing though.
And he shoots
If
me.
you, oh well, he wouldn't shoot you. Oh wait, no. The one last thing's gonna wait. It's more dramatic if I say it when it's actually the last thing. So
Right.
it was right. 10,000 each, 2 up front. He looks around the table.
Whisper nods.
I give him a smile and like very acceptable.
Blitz gives a thumbs up to Hoxton.
Oh hey, I didn't even see you there. How you doing, Blitz?
Yeah, fine. Haven't seen you in a while. Are you okay, man?
Stay focused. We're on a job.
Oh, yeah. Professionalism.
All right then. They'll be leaving from our office in Western Seattle at 9 p.m. And he pulls out a cred stick and a comm link and slots it in and pulls it out and slides it across the table. Any other questions?
If it's not too much to ask, do you have like a profile on these guys? Like nothing too detailed, I imagine, for security reasons. Just to like get an idea about numbers or individual abilities, if anything unusual we should care about.
The profile is if you try and fight my team, you're gonna die. So
Yeah.
We won't lay a finger on him.
either they're gonna kill you, or if I find out you all trailed my team, ambushed and slaughtered them, I'm gonna kill you.
Okay, there's no need to escalate to this level of tension here. We're gonna be we're cool. We're professionals.
Like, we won't need their information, I suppose. If we're not gonna directly contact them or get involved, it should be fine.
We need a picture or something, right?
Picture would help.
There's only gonna be one car leaving that address at 9 p.m. It's gonna be a black GMC Endurance, the kind us corp security types love to use.
We can work with that. Huxon will grab the... Was it a cred stick or a data chip that went across the table?
Cred stick.
Oh, okay. I'll still snag that off the table, I suppose. Yeah, and then slot it to confirm the total.
It is confirmed.
Okay. Huxon will... Oh, actually, think for a second. Is there any other information we need? EVO Security team leaving the Western Seattle office. I assume that means something to us in character.
Yeah, that's near. So he gave you an address.
Okay.
You know, the EVO headquarters in Seattle is in that area.
Yeah, I figured our characters would probably know more specifically what that means. Departing at 9 p.m. tonight.
Tonight.
Okay. Then yeah, Huxton will wrap his knuckles lightly across the table a couple of times, and say, "Then we better get moving. How can we contact you?"
He'll send you all comm codes. Well, one comm code he will
Just a
send to
bunch
you
of
all.
different comp codes.
Try one of them.
Good luck.
It's like this is my early morning comm link. That one's for the weekends.
8:30
It's my
to 9
business
is
number.
this one. Okay. Yeah.
This one's just for emergencies. I'm going to be out tomorrow night, so please don't call unless it's very urgent.
That one's my ex-wives. You can call her if you want and just annoy her. You know, it's always fun.
All right. Yeah, Huxton will stand up, push his chair in, say, "You folks ready?"
What we're here for.
Yes.
Rebellion will get up from his seat and say one last thing. If you get caught by my team and it's looking like a fight, just run. Do yourselves a favor and just run. And then he walks out.
Huxton looks to his team as Rebellion walks away, and under his breath says, "That was very dramatic."
It's not gonna come to that.
He's really playing them
I'm
up.
good at running.
Not all of us are as good as you, Whisper.
You do us a favor, Whisper, and if it does come to that, can you run just a little bit slower than us?
Yes.
Thanks. And then Huxton
But-
will take his 2K off the cred stack and hand it to Whisper.
I'm always slower running up the wall.
Always slow running. Right. Let's up the wall. Okay, yeah, let's go. Huxton will look around and see if there's anybody like obviously watching them, and then he'll leave.
When he's like trying to figure out what Whisper means by running up the wall, I'm like, remember the trees in Africa, Hoxton?
Oh, Hoxton, make a perception check.
Trees in Africa. Did you run up those trees? I thought you just jumped up those trees.
She ran up them.
I ran up.
People
Yeah, there
get
you go.
weirder and weirder every day.
I can't do that jump yet.
Yet.
Hoxton,
2
perception check. Oh, there it is. All right. As you leave, you see that there's some repair work being done on would they even have telephone wires? Actually, is what I'm now thinking.
Some sort of box.
Let's say they do. Some sort of box on a pole. Some man is working on it, and he looks at you guys as you walk out of the bar.
Judge intention. Is he being nosy or is he being mischievous?
He's just being nosy.
Huxton will give him a nod and continue on.
He looks like he's kind of confused why some random guy is nodding at him.
You've
And
never had someone just say hello to you when you pass by?
you're not passing by. He's like up on a pole.
Oh.
Like
Is
working on a box.
is this outside?
Outside, yeah.
Okay. Then I'll just watch him work for a moment and then continue.
Yeah. Once you start looking at him after a second, he goes back to work on the box. He seems to have a tool belt and some tools and is doing something.
I will A-sense him.
Okay.
Hoxton's staring down a guy on a box. Sure, I'll sense him.
Oh, are you not gonna roll, or are you just
I'm rolling.
okay? Yeah, he's completely mundane.
Mm.
He looks like his health. He's a little bit sick. His aura is a little weak. He's probably got a bad cold.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm not afraid of a guy
I
with a
forgot to
cold.
check the weather today. Oh, it is 45 degrees and rainy. So yeah, he's really upset to be out there. He's actually got a big poncho on, but his tool belt is of course strapped outside of the poncho so that he can reach the tools.
All right. Once we get outside, Hoxton will, kick up the collar on his jacket if it's raining, get the water off of him, and so anybody need a lift over D9 as he gets into his car.
You see Rebellion ride away on a Harley Scorpion.
Oh, I've got my Coco taxi nearby. Are we going to go meet somewhere? 9 p.m. What time is it now? Do we have to go tonight?
Yeah, it's a little past 6 now. What district are we in?
Tacoma.
Sort of northern Tacoma.
Okay. In the Western Seattle office.
It'll definitely take you less than an hour to get there from here.
Okay. If we were to
you could pretty much go anywhere in Seattle except for maybe the Everett and still make it back in time.
Okay. Why don't we go? I want to go over to Louis. We'll grab a table and think this through. Make sure we're as prepared as we want to be.
Sounds good.
All right.
Alternatively, we could go to a Stuffer Shack or a McHugh's, as I've already drawn those things.
Go get a burger before we go to Louis.
Deal. We'll go through the
Just
drive-thru.
erase
Exactly.
the dive bar name there and write Louis. There's probably a Stuffer Shack and a McHugh's
good
there
call.
too.
Good call. Yeah, here, I'll change the scene really quick for it.
This is nice because there's gonna be a McHugh's and a Stuffer Shack's everywhere we go, even the Seattle office for EVO.
All right, so we'll go to the Ale and Whale.
You did notice when you were inside that aside from the bar looking like a boat, the layout was exactly the same as the Ale and Whale. The dive bar.
So we close the door, we turn around, we open it again, and Louis is standing there now.
Magic.
It's called
Right
a
back
scene transition.
Yeah.
What he should have done is moved us to another map and then back.
Did that do it?
I think you moved yourself. We never moved.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Now we're. Oh, all right. Now we're at the Ale and Whale. Perfect. Yeah. Ask Louis if he's got a room spare. We could congregate in.
Sure. Room number 3 is open.
All right. Head back there. So we don't know much about this. We know we're going to be tailing an EVO Security detail that is trained and usually led by the notorious ex-Shadowrunner Rebellion. That seems like a good point that I just made to myself. Thanks, Hoxton. Hoxton will ask Louis. He'll go back out and ask Louis if he could come talk to us for a little bit. We have a question about a guy.
So I don't actually know much about the Alien Whale, but I suppose it can probably function without Louis for a few minutes.
He's got some barmaids. Ashley is one of the named ones that is usually on
Alright.
staff.
And he'll say, "Sure, Ashley can watch the bar," and he'll like wave to her, and as she comes over, he'll go into the back room with you.
So, you know that you put us into touch with this rebellion character, and he seems like a stand-up guy, but I don't think any of us really know him outside of a reputation. We're just trying to gauge the situation, make sure we're not walking into something that we can't walk out of. Do you have any insight on the guy for us?
So, and I don't know what sort of accent Louis might have.
He's
Man, I don't-
he's just an old human male from Seattle, aged. He's divorced. He's a gambler.
Seattle people have an accent. I don't know. They
It's
sound
not
like
that.
Batman.
That's not. He could have a cold today.
Let's see if I
can.
can. Yeah, he's got a no. Okay, no accent. So Louis will tell you. I never worked with Rebellion directly, but I've heard stories from some of my friends. I can tell you whatever he told you. He's being honest about it. That guy. That was actually the final straw that put him into retirement. Was he decided he just couldn't trust other runners anymore. Too many surprises, and that's why he left the shadows. He's a pretty straightforward guy.
Does this orc have any marks on his record at all? Has he ever done anything to earn somebody's anger or distrust? Has he ever walked on a job, shot somebody in cold blood?
Now, that last job that I mentioned, he left it halfway through. Just gave up. Something about I think they were escorting somebody, and one of the other runners just opened fire on some law enforcement that were helping him out on the run. I know he had something to do with some blood magic case about a year and a half ago. I mean, I think he was on the side that closed the case, but can't really be sure. I mean, if he was a blood mage, he probably wouldn't still be working for EVO and talking to you guys.
Yeah, he didn't strike us as a blood mage, at least not me. How about you, Blizzard?
Seems more of like a Bickle type to me.
Louis will laugh. He says,
he's
as
on
far as I
drugs?
know, Rebellion never beat anyone to death with somebody's arms.
Okay. More of a shooty. Okay. He most likely uses guns.
He mostly beats him into unconsciousness with his own arms.
Yeah, he's a famous boxer, isn't he, Whisper?
Rebellion? Is he?
Oh, Whisper, you have fight knowledge.
Yeah.
Whisper, you totally know. He is actually a pretty well-known augmented boxer. Well-known because he's both augmented and awakened.
Oh, I've got some trid. Hang on. This is Rebellion versus the Street Monkey.
Who wins?
We'll have to watch.
Hoxton will look up and say, "Thanks for your time, Louis."
Do you want to roll one of your fight knowledge-y things?
Nice.
Yeah, so you know Rebellion used to train at the Red Dragon gym, which has been around for a couple hundred years before dragons were a real thing. And he is mostly a boxer, but since starting Shadowrunning, he branched out into things like jujitsu and karate.
Yeah, he's learned all of those Asian things or Japanese. Maybe it's because he's an EVO. No, they're Russian now, aren't they, or something? Didn't they used to be Japanese?
Russians?
Well, you know, I mean, they changed these names and rebrand, and are they really still? I think weren't they some Japanese company before? Anyway, that might explain why he learned the Japanese fighting arts.
Either way, men trained by this man, not going to be good for us, most likely. So his threats were definitely, he could back him up.
Wow, and the Red Dragon, that's a cool place. You know, they have a big rep in the streets.
Have you been?
No, because I don't have a dojo yet.
Well, maybe if things go well here, we can petition to change that.
Oh, I'm going to start my own.
Hawkson kind of nods, like, "Oh, cool."
Are you gonna teach people to toss electricity out of their bodies like you do?
I don't know how that works. I mean, if they do that already, I can maybe do that.
Magic, always a mystery.
What
Good
do
thing I
you
don't
do?
rely on it.
Yeah, what do you do, Glitz?
Louis gonna interrupt here and say, "Oh, guys got any other questions, or can I get back to the bar?"
Oh no, when Whisper pulled out the Rebellion fight video, Huxton kind of gave him a nod and a wink and said, "Hey, thanks for the information," to sort of like
All
let
right.
him leave so that we could then just divulge into people talk.
Okay. Then Louis has gone back to the bar.
Yeah, and Hoxton is going to take out his comlink and be busy for a minute, and I need to run AFK.
I want to ask Glitz what he does. Like,
I'm mundane, but I think I give that away. But I'm a multi-talented guy. I can do shooting, I can do breaking and entering, surveillance, which is the case now. But if you have to me choose my best skill, I guess I'd say it's driving. But that doesn't mean the other skills are bad. They're great.
all right. Useful to know.
And you? Are you magical, mundane?
I'm magical.
Ooh, that's good to have on a thing. Have that high on the astro that helped me so many times.
Doesn't seem like it's going to come into play here, but if you were to get shot, I could heal you up real good.
Nah, we're probably not gonna. We're gonna ghost this probably.
Yeah. That's what we'll try.
Oh, yeah. You can do that invisibility thing that might help upset. If they have mages, they can see it.
That's why I asked, like, if they have mages, I might not be as effective with the spirits and the invisibility.
Okay, well, how are we going to do this? They're going to be like walking around the city and going places and doing things, and we'll have to trail them and track them down and stuff, right? Are we going to get kind of cool spy equipment? I heard that there's this stuff you can spray them with this stuff that smells good, and then you just follow them with your smell.
You
Or
have
follow-
any of that? Huxton looks up from his phone.
No, I was just somebody was talking about it online about well, actually, it was in this trade show I was watching.
What are we gonna like tape a bottle of Glade or some other perfume in the car or something? I don't get your idea.
They're called scent markers. You get like this pen, this ink pen, which is really, really old school. I don't know why anybody would use a pen. But then you mark them with it. You spray it on them, and then they leave a trail of smell, and then you can follow it. But I think with the pen, you've got to get a new nose or something.
Okay, we'll put that one on the back burner for part 2 of this job. I think for now we might just try to tail them. Maybe take a couple of different cars. How many cars do we have? Or no, you all drive motorcycles, don't you?
No, mine's a Coco taxi. It has 3 wheels.
That is a 3-wheeled. Right. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Technically, it's still a motorcycle because it's a motorized cycle.
Does Louis pop his head in and correct?
Well, guys, yeah, I got a Coco taxi, but I've got. Do any of you know how to use this stuff pretty well? Because I actually got my Horizon camera drones. I got 3 of them. They got pretty good cameras on them. I have a couple micro skimmers. Those are a lot cheaper to follow people with because then destroy them. It's not as expensive as my good cameras because I need the cameras to record my fights.
How do you drive one of those?
The micro skimmer?
Yeah, either or.
Well, they're really tiny. You don't drive them. You just tell them to go somewhere. Like I said, go over there or follow that car or something.
How to show me?
I think they use Grid Guide. Well, hang on. I put them away in my Coco taxi.
Could you use them to plan a tag into their car or something like that so we don't have to touch it?
Or stick to their car?
No. They're like Frisbees. We go get one.
Yeah, go get one. Let's take a look. We got some time.
All right.
I don't think I've ever used one myself, but I feel like I could probably figure it out.
Yep. So she gets back. Yep. It's a micro skimmer. It's like a small disc with fans in it, and it works like a hovercraft.
And then out of character mechanically, how do you control it?
It's a pilot groundcraft.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you were jumped in, but they're a micro drone, so they really don't do much.
There's okay, and I don't think I can jump in. I don't know how jumping in works.
Got to be a rigger.
I need an RCC, right?
Nope.
No, our RCC is for remotely controlling multiple drones.
Oh.
But it's still, we need the software anyway, so.
So the drones, you can remote control them manually on link, but you're still going to be totally capped. You can use pilot groundcraft to remote control it.
Okay, so we could either use pilot groundcraft to remote control it ourselves, or they can just fly themselves. Is that like the pilot rating ×2 or something?
Yeah. So they're not really good.
Okay.
Which is why...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Could I try giving one a whirl?
Yeah, here you go.
All right, I'll take
You're
one.
Invited to have 3 marks.
Cool. I'll take out my little comm link and clear off the table of anything that's glass or breakable, and then try to fly the drone.
Yeah, and at the moment you get to the edge of the table, it falls off. You figure out it doesn't really leave the ground very often.
Okay, so it doesn't fly. That is useful to know.
Yeah. I also got this little larger blimp that I use when I'm in the street fights because we got to advertise the odds, which I'm not doing now because Deuces has disappeared. I don't do that anymore, but I've got this blimp drone, mini blimp. Like the sandwich shop down the street or right outside McHugh's, they have one.
Don't you dare make me draw a sandwich shop.
See, they have a blimp that is in the shape of the McHugh's burger that flies around the McHugh's.
Does it have a camera on it?
I don't know about theirs, but mine does.
Yeah, they usually have a sensor. You have a burger blimp?
Well, I don't put burgers on it. We do like fight scenes. Like, hey, if I had it in here now, I'd be show you Rebellion versus the Street Monkey on it.
So we could put some NERPs on it, and they fly it away, and they won't probably pay it any mind, and you can follow them.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah. I get they're just little advertising blimps.
And you can control that? Or does
Well,
Deuces normally
yeah.
handle it?
Deuces, well, we usually just tell it to hang out overhead and advertise. These things you just can tell them pretty simple stuff and they do it.
Cool.
That one, I think the controls you have to do, it's just like flying a plane.
Anybody here knows how to fly a plane?
Huxon raises his hand like, yeah, I took a couple lessons.
Oh, that's gonna be useful.
Oh.
If we need another eye in the sky, I also have a drone of myself. It's kind of like a stealthy bird, and Glitz is gonna try to show the size of the drone with his hands, like making I think it's about a meter or so if with its full wingspan. And well, basically it's a flying spine drone. I bought a pretty good, pretty decent digital brain for it because I can't really fly it, but it's tough enough as long as they don't get into somewhere that's too tight or doesn't allow for an aerial view. We're gonna be fine with it.
And Glitz, it's been a while. I haven't seen you since that job at the porn mansion. You're pretty good stealthily too, right?
Oh yeah, I've been getting better actually. I don't know if you heard while you were out. I did actually pull out a pretty good heist of a sword a few months ago. Where have you been anyway? I haven't heard about you for like a long time.
Huxon was like looking a little anxious the entire time you were talking about that, hoping that question didn't come up, and he kind of like rubs the back of his neck and he says,
You were in Cuba.
Yeah.
And Istanbul.
Oh my god.
I had to send Arachne to get you, and I'm kind of sorry about that. I should have sent someone else. Because if I'd sent someone else, they wouldn't have tried to kill you when they were rescuing you.
Yeah, that's fair. She tried to kick my ass for about a minute and a half.
Yeah, she does that. But
It's
I'd
okay.
still rather have her along than Bickle.
That's true. He was there, actually, oddly, for a minute.
Wow. How did you get rescued?
Nobody knows.
Wait, rescue? Were you like kidnapped? What?
I'll tell you about it over a drink if we get through this.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have plenty of money to buy plenty of drinks and plenty of stories around the world after this job. So, shall we be going to the place? Have a look around.
Yeah, so it sounds like we've got a couple of drones. We can use those to try to keep track of it if we have to fall back ourselves. But I'd say we can, I could try to tail it in the car, and so long as they don't get suspicious, then, we figure out where they're going and if we need to infiltrate from there. And we've got the drones to fall back on if we need, a third eye. That sound good to everybody?
Okay. Do we need, do we have a plan for how we follow them? I mean, we just hang out where they are and watch them? Is that really what we do?
Yeah, let's bring up a map real quick, and I'll hit a matrix search, plug in the address of the facility, and sort of bring up in AR over the table, a 3D map of like Google Maps of that neighborhood, like what kind of other offices or businesses or things are there? Is there going to be somewhere that we could park and wait for this this detail to drive out from?
So you'll see it's in a double A area near the Federated Boeing shipyards. There are mostly corporate offices with a few high lifestyle high rises in the area for the business professionals. There are also like a few high scale restaurants in the area, but it's all very upscale. There doesn't seem to be. There's also like parking garages in the area. No street parking.
Okay. So maybe double A area. What's that mean for amateur dronists? Would it be unreasonable to just be having a drone, flying?
If you had a flying drone, that would probably it would probably go unnoticed amongst the other drones, unless it like had guns strapped to it or something. Drones on the ground are not very common there.
Okay. Glitz, you said you had a roto drone, right?
Not exactly a rotodrone. It's actually a Lockheed Optic X2 drone.
Does it fly?
They do, and they are pretty stealthy. At least that's what the guy who sold me told me. But so far, it worked fine. It has the chameleon coating thing, and it also is designed to be stealthy or something like that. Mechanically speaking, I think it gives like a -3 for perception tests against it or something like that.
Okay.
Okay. You know what I saw the other night on the show called Levers? It's about these people trying to figure out the levers to fight power that are being corrupt and oppressive to everybody. But when they were following somebody, they did something like somebody actually followed in front.
How do we predict where they're going to go?
Yeah, see, that's what I was trying to figure out in the show. I had that question.
They're gonna like be running backwards. That's kind of dangerous in the street.
No, they did something where they showed it. There was somebody they were going through the streets and somebody was ahead and somebody was behind. So they were in front and back and following them. And I it was kind of exactly like that. I didn't know. How do you know to get in front?
Well,
but it was in the show. I think people do that.
But the tweets are mostly based on truth, or at least
if we had,
I think they are.
If we had some sort of matrix support here, we might be able to hack into their grid guide, get their destination, and keep ahead that way. Maybe that's how they did it in your show, but I don't think we've got that option here. I think we rely on the drone to know when they leave, and then just trail them ourselves.
Well, I was thinking about this on the freeway coming up Highway 5 from Tacoma to get over here. And then we had to cut over to Columbia. But I was thinking what it is they must talk to each other, right? And when the person back sees them like, oh, they turn right, you just turn right up ahead and come back and then get back in front of them. Because people tend to drive straight most of the time. Right? When we came here from the dive bar to Louis, we went straight to I-5, and then we went north on I-5, and then we got off and went straight to Columbia to Ale and Whale. Maybe we did like 4 turns to get here.
Okay. So you want to lead them, and then I can trail them, I suppose?
I don't know. It was something cool I saw on the TRID, but I don't know how it works. We haven't done it together.
Well, I'm pretty good with maps and stuff, so I could probably, if we watch them for a while, like take a guess on which way they're probably going to use, because people tend to be predictable on their ways. But since they seem to be doing some shady stuff, they might take a pet we don't expect. But still, I don't know about you guys, but my bike's pretty fast, so I can always catch up with them.
Oh,
Okay.
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a jacket that I can turn inside out.
Are you cold? I can lend you a jacket.
No, and a hat, because they tell you like you change a jacket and your hat. I've got this tearaway skirt. If you're following, well, they're going to be in a car, aren't they?
I don't think we need disguises, Whisper.
A van. Yeah, they're going to be in a van.
You don't think we need disguises? Oh well.
I don't think we're supposed to be seen.
Well, but we got to be near them to follow them. Oh, can you stick like a tracker on their car or something?
I have stealth tags, but we would need to get close.
Yeah, it
There's-
seems dangerous.
Exactly.
There's this place called the spy store. You could go buy all this stuff to help you track people down.
Huxton checks
Mike?
the time. How long have we been in the room?
About a half hour.
Yeah, we're cutting it pretty close.
My question is, should I summon any magical support, or would that be too risky with the awakened they have?
I shrug. Say I'm not up to date on my magic security. I don't know if it's giving any cards away.
I'm gonna roll. Yeah, I'm gonna roll my magical security.
The old player asks a question and then can answer it themselves.
Yeah. 2 successes.
All right. Well, you know that awakened typically don't spend all of their time on the astral plane, even awakened security. There's a chance that they might have their own spirit watching over them. But while they're in transit, who knows? It could go either way, depending on what they're expecting to find on the other end, which unfortunately you don't know.
Hmm.
Man, if we knew what they were going to find on the other end, this job would have been super easy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could have just told Rebellion at the meet.
Like, oh yeah, they're going to do this. All right, here's your money. Thanks.
Maybe I'll do some looking around in the astral if we're tailing them and see if they got any spirits, and if not, maybe I'll decide to summon my own to maybe
Yeah,
do some concealing and movements.
I don't think they'll. This is just a guess, but I'm hoping they're not going to be too overly secure in transit. I don't think that this is anything other than a normal security exercise for these guys. Rebellion's obviously just the special snowflake they're trying to take care of over there at EVO. So we could probably rely on some astral support. Just
What
don't
do
let it
you
fly in their
mean by
back car.
special snowflake?
He's obviously an important character, somebody they want to keep on their side, so they're willing to go through some sort of precautions to ensure that he doesn't see whatever the hell it is these guys are doing, right?
In theory, like Whisper could be a special snowflake, and so could Hoxton and everyone else in their own different way.
That's right, Blizzard. Hoxton will pat your shoulder. We're all special snowflakes, buddy.
That was more for Whisper and less for me.
Okay. Well, let's go.
Hoxton will stand up, pick up the little frisbee drone that fell off the table and probably flipped over, and hand it back to Whisper after sort of brushing off some of the dirt.
Yeah, and you'd think they would have built something on these that would like flip itself over or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But
Maybe
once
we
it's
can,
flipped over, you have to go over to it and turn it over.
maybe we can have Olaf take a look at it. He's pretty handy with hardware. Bet he could build some sort of flipper.
A skimmer flipper.
Skimmer flipper.
Okay, so for starters, we're gonna take a look at the security these guys are using. So I think we should look the most pedestrian possible. I'm gonna get some clothes, just so in case we have to, drive around them or do something very inconspicuous. And then I guess we could meet there.
Yeah, Glitz, if you've got any gear you want to bring, but you can't fit it on your bike or you don't want to, you can toss it in my trunk. I'm going to be tailing these guys with probably at least Blizzard in tow. And, we can always suit up if we need to do anything more than just follow these guys to a job site.
We're all taking our own cars for this?
It sounds like it.
Okay.
If you would like to, I will more than happily put any of you into my vehicle. I plan to just try to follow from a safe distance and hopefully not lose these guys or alert them that they're being followed.
Well, if we take turns and we're all in different kinds of vehicles, then it'll be harder for them.
Good idea. So yeah, I'll start it off, and the two of you can just sort of migrate ahead, and we'll tag out every 10 minutes. That's a good idea.
Do you want me to set up the flying drone ahead of time, or do you think we should wait?
Yes, I think we should have it ready to deploy in case we lose them. We can try to quickly find them with it again. But I don't see these guys. Hopefully, being too sporadic. I suspect we'll be able to adapt to them, to their movements.
There's one trick about being stealthy that nobody ever looks up. It always works. So I'm gonna send my bird. I'm gonna tell it to keep doing some rounds and pretend it's a weather drone or something like that.
Yeah, and I was just reading through a Matrix textbook the other day. Just make sure your drone's a good 110 meters in the sky, and it should be harder to detect. And yeah, we'll head back outside. Thanks, Louis, for the room.
All right. We've been playing for a bit over an hour, so let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll move on to when these guys leave their office. And when we get back, you guys can tell me how you're set up.
All right.